It's time for NCW Life News on the NCW Life channel. The latest from around the Wenatchee Valley and North Central Washington with Steve Hare, and sports with Eric Granstrom.
Well, good evening and welcome to NCW Life News for a Monday. I'm Steve Hare. A few of the stories we're following for you tonight. Officials recovered the bodies of two pilots whose aircraft crashed Saturday in Douglas County. A Manson man is arrested in connection with murder, and with the Independence Day celebrations upcoming, fire agencies want you to take extra precaution when using those safe and sane fireworks. Later on, sports with Eric Granstrom. We have a special feature on the Sleepy Hollow neighborhood and their pleadings for you not to use fireworks this 4th of July. Dan Kuntz will also join us with our weather forecast. First, our top story to this hour. Douglas County Sheriff Harvey Jesdahl has released the names of the two men who were killed Saturday in the crash of their ultralight aircraft. Sheriff said the bodies of 48-year-old Eric Sarche of Everett and 70-year-old Bonnie Wallace of Central Point, Oregon were recovered Sunday evening. The two men took off from Chelan Airport Saturday morning. They were reportedly headed for northern Douglas County or Okanogan County when their North Wing ultralight crashed on Windsor Hill about a mile south of Wells Dam. Now, the sheriff said the effort to recover the bodies was delayed due to the extremely treacherous terrain. The cause of the crash is still under investigation. Also, a Manson man is in custody on suspicion of murdering his mother. Chelan County Sheriff Brian Burnett says deputies responded Friday to a death investigation at a home on Hanson Avenue. And when they arrived, they found that the body of the resident of 56-year-old Maria Ocampo was inside. A man identified as 25-year-old Rafael Ocampo was also at the home. The sheriff said the man was arrested and booked into jail for first-degree murder and violating a no-contact order. An autopsy was to be conducted Wednesday to determine the victim's cause of death. Well, unless you live in the city of East Wenatchee, fireworks of any kind are illegal in Douglas or Chelan counties. The ban includes the safe and sane variety that are currently on sale in East Wenatchee. Fire officials cautioned residents that even a sparkler can set off a brush fire.
Hi, I'm Dan with Grant County Fire District 13. Here we are, Friday before the 4th of July. As you can see, our grasses are brown and the sun is shining. We want to make sure everybody's having a happy, safe 4th of July. Even with these childhood toys of the sparklers, a simple firework slipping out into the wrong hands, falling down into the grass, can cause an instant wildfire. As always, our fire departments are here to protect us and keep us safe, but what we want to make sure is everybody plays their part, plays it safe on 4th of July. Have a great weekend.
And again, that ban extends to all of the unincorporated areas of Chelan and Douglas counties and the city of Wenatchee. The ban also extends into state and U.S. Forest Service lands. Coming up, a man drowns on the Methow River Saturday. A government shutdown narrowly avoided after the state legislature adopts a new budget. And the Valley celebrates Independence Day tomorrow with a number of events. I'm Steve Hare. You're watching NCW Life News.
Stay up to date with what's happening in North Central Washington. Go to the NCW Life community calendar at ncwlife.com.
Welcome back to NCW Life News. I'm Steve Hare. The Okanogan County Sheriff's Office today continued a search for the body of Alvin Heimer, 74-year-old from Methow who drowned in the Methow River Saturday. Sheriff Frank Rogers said in a press release that Heimer was with his wife and their two dogs about 14 miles upriver from the Columbia River when the dogs went into the water. But the dogs got caught in an eddy and Heimer went into the river to help the dogs. He lost his balance and apparently swept downstream. Sheriff Frank Rogers said several rescue crews, including the Chelan County Sheriff's helicopter, were unable to locate the victim. He described Heimer as a well-respected member of the community and that the search will continue until the victim's body is recovered. Well, the government shutdown was averted as the state legislature finally approved a new 2-year spending plan. But at what cost? The operating budget included education funding, and that appears to meet the state Supreme Court's mandate for funding schools. But 12th District House Representative Kerry Gadata says it also digs deeper into all of our pocketbooks.
I'm concerned about the overall spending level. It's $5.2 billion of increase in the budget in one cycle. That's a 13+% increase. The last time we did that, it marked disaster in the outgoing years. So I'm very concerned about that level of spending. We had nearly $3 billion additional dollars without any tax increases, and now we have a $2.1 billion tax increase on the table on top of that, for a total of, again, a $5.2 billion increase in spending. I think this is a little bit extravagant.
Now, the budget includes new taxes on bottled water, a new fuel tax, a new sales tax on internet sales from out-of-state vendors, also a new property tax increase. Well, the stage is being set for tomorrow's 4th of July fireworks celebration in Wenatchee. Workers have been setting up the display on the island at the swimming lagoon at Walla Walla Point Park. NCW Life News got a behind-the-scenes look at how that show is put together with the show's chief pyrotechnician, Kylie Boggs.
So we work over a week, and we work both mornings and nights. We try and take the afternoon off just because it's the hottest part of the day. And we start by building our sandboxes out there. We put our tubes where we want certain effects to go. And then over the course of the week, we'll get product, we'll label everything, drop it, wire it all in, and then do any special effects that we have. We have a couple cakes this year that are going to do some fun things. We have one that's going to make a carpet out on the water. And then we have just different small little fun things that people are going to enjoy.
The fireworks display culminates a full day of activities. Starts at the Pybus Market with the Heroes Breakfast. And by the way, breakfast is free to all of you military veterans. Also, the very popular Cherry Pit Spitting Contest. Hey, you're watching NCW Live News. Coming up next, I have your sports updates. Our feature today coming out of the Sleepy Hollow neighborhood as NCW Life News continues for a Monday.
Get the fastest internet available in North Central Washington by switching to LocalTel and get speeds up to 1,000 meg. Call 888-8888 today or go online to localtel.net.
And now it's a sports update on the NCW Life channel.
Happy Monday. I'm Gabe Mercer filling in for Eric Grandstrom. Here's your sports update. The Wenatchee Apple Sox had a well-needed off day yesterday following their perfect 6-game homestand. The Apple Sox most recently swept the Port Angeles Lefties in 3 games and ran away with a win in both games against a non-conference opponent, the River City Athletics. The Apple Sox finished off the first half of the summer with a 14-10 record. They will play their first game of the second half of the season play tomorrow night in Cowlitz as they begin a 3-game series against the Black Bears. Even though the Apple Sox had an off day, NCW play was still in full swing Sunday night. Bellingham ran away with the win over Walla Walla 5-3. Zach Pettaway pitched 5 innings for the Bells, allowing only 2 runs with 4 strikeouts and walking only 1. Corvallis beat Gresham 7-6. Corvallis' Matt Kelly went 4 for 5 with 3 runs and 1 RBI. The Grey Wolves scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 9th, but failed to steal the game from the Knights. Ben beat Port Angeles 6-4 thanks to the Elks' James Acuna, who pitched 6.1 innings, allowing only 2 runs with 6 strikeouts. You can see the rest of the North Division standings on the screen. The Seattle Mariners finished off their 3-game series against the Angels with a 5-3 win Sunday afternoon in Anaheim. Second baseman Robinson Cano slugged a 3-run homer in the 8th to seal the series win for the Mariners. Starting pitcher James Paxton allowed only 1 run in 6 1/3 innings. Seattle is now 41-42 overall and 3rd in the American League West. Seattle will now return home for a 7-game homestand, starting with a 3-game series against the Royals. In the American League West last night, the Astros took away the game from the Yankees 8-1. The White Sox beat the Rangers 6-5, and the Braves defeated the Athletics 4-3. You can see the rest of your AL West standings on the screen. Now, here's what's on tap for this week. The 7th annual River Run on the 4th 5K and 10K will be held this Tuesday in conjunction with the Wenatchee Independence Day celebration. The start and finish line will be held at Pybus Public Market. The Apple Capital Starlight Swim Meet begins this Friday and will take place all weekend at the Wenatchee City Pool. Now that's it for today's sports update. I'm Gabe Mercer. Have a great rest of your Monday.
Thanks a lot, Gabe. Well, you know, as fire season settles in, victims of the Sleepy Hollow fire want you to remember how important it is to take extra precaution this summer. They put together this timely little video. It may be dated, about 2 years old, but it's still an effective message.
The Sleepy Hollow fire destroyed everything in its path. 4 businesses, dozens of homes, and over 1,000 people out of work. Please remember this 4th of July and remember this upcoming summer to be careful with matches, use your head, and think about the community and this beautiful valley we live in.
But look at what fire can do. I mean, within 20 minutes, my house was burnt down to nothing, to this. So I hope for those of you out here thinking about lighting fireworks on the 4th, you might want to think twice and look around this neighborhood and how it was destroyed literally within probably an hour.
So just be cautious, moving forward, and otherwise this could happen. Think of your dear friends and your family and what it could mean to them as well.
Don't do it. Don't use fireworks in this tinderbox. Things are going to go up. Bad things are going to happen to people. And we know you didn't mean to do it.
We are grateful that no lives were lost. The Northwest is drier than ever, and drought and high temperatures affect us all. One bottle rocket, one Roman candle, one cigarette isn't worth the risk to our homes, to our families, to our communities. If you think about lighting a match, think again. This summer, be careful when you're using fire, and please avoid using fireworks.
Compelling reminder from your friends in the Sleepy Hollow area and the Broadview subdivision. Again, please be careful with any lighted material, and please refrain from lighting off fireworks this year. We'll be right back in just a moment with a recap of today's top stories, also your weather forecast for North Central Washington.
Stay up to date with what's happening in North Central Washington. Go to the NCW Life Community Calendar at ncwlife.com.
Welcome back to our program, and now a recap of our top stories on NCW Life News. Douglas County Sheriff Harvey Jesdal has released the names of the 2 men who were killed Saturday in the crash of their ultralight aircraft. Sheriff said the bodies of 48-year-old Eric Sarche of Everett and 70-year-old Bonnie Wallace of Central Point, Oregon, were recovered Sunday evening. The 2 men took off from Chelan Airport Saturday morning. They were reportedly headed for northern Douglas County or Okanagan County when their North Wing ultralight crashed on Windsor Hill. It's about a mile south of Wells Dam. Now, the sheriff said the effort to recover the bodies was delayed due to the extremely treacherous terrain. Cause of the crash is still under investigation. Also, a Manson man is in custody on suspicion of murdering his mother. Chelan County Sheriff Brian Burnett says deputies responded Friday to a death investigation at a home on Hanson Avenue in Manson, and when they arrived, they found the body of the resident inside. She's now been identified as 56-year-old Maria Ocampo. Meanwhile, a man identified as 25-year-old Rafael Ocampo was also at the home. Sheriff said the man was arrested and booked into jail for first-degree murder and violating a no-contact order. Meanwhile, an autopsy was to be conducted Wednesday to determine the cause of death. Well, unless you live in the city of East Wenatchee, fireworks of any kind are illegal in Douglas or Chelan counties. The ban includes the safe and sane variety that are currently on sale in East Wenatchee. Fire officials caution residents that even a sparkler can set off a brush fire.
Hi, I'm Dan with Grant County Fire District 13. Here we are, Friday before the 4th of July. As you can see, our grasses are brown and the sun is shining. We want to make sure everybody's having a happy, safe 4th of July. Even with these childhood toys of the sparklers, a simple firework slipping out into the wrong hands, falling down into the grass can cause an instant wildfire. As always, our fire departments are here to protect us and keep us safe. But what we want to make sure is everybody plays their part, plays it safe on 4th of July. Have a great weekend.
Thanks to Grant County Fire District 13 for sharing that video with us. Pretty compelling. Well, the ban on fireworks, by the way, also extends into state and U.S. Forest Service lands. And again, the ban right now is in effect in Chelan, Douglas, and Grant counties, including Okanogan County and the city of Wenatchee. And now Dan Kuntz has your weather forecast for north central Washington.
A very dry, cold front is rolling through the area as we speak. It will continue to roll through the area tonight, and then by Independence Day morning, it will be gone. So you can expect some breezy conditions tonight. Wind out of the northwest about 7 to 15 miles an hour, but gusts as high as 24 miles an hour is possible tonight. And an overnight low about 64. And then the warm-up begins. We're going to go from warm to just plain hot by the end of the week. In fact, we could see 100 degrees by Friday. That'd be the first time since July of last year at the Wenatchee Valley got to 100 degrees. For Independence Day, sunshine and a high of 93. Wind out of the northwest about 5 to 7 miles an hour, becoming calm in the afternoon. By the time the fireworks go off at about 10 minutes to 10 last night, it'll be about 77 degrees. Very pleasant indeed. Wednesday, sunny and a hot 96, near 100 Thursday, and triple digits expected on Friday before we cool down a little bit by the weekend. And that's a look at your forecast on the NCW Life channel.
Beautiful day on tap for the 4th of July. Hope you and yours have a great weekend. But now we're going to close out our newscast today. Some timely commentary from my favorite cowboy poet.
Veranda. The heat of the day is dissipating. Shadows are growing longer in the canyon to the south, and the bottom of the clouds are turning pink. The mountains to the east of the valley are glowing purple. Cindy's bustling around in the kitchen. I think I smell teriyaki sauce. My grade schoolers being mauled by cow dog puppies. The horses are fed, the cows are fat, the quail are chuckling, and the dusk is waiting in the wings. It's times like this I remember my New Year's resolution, to stop once a day and remind myself that this is as good as it gets. But as that thought sinks in, I become fully aware of how many have given so much so I could be right here. Right here for me is to be an American, lucky enough to be born in a country where I am free to worship God, free to better myself to be the best I am able, lucky enough to be born in a time when the knowledge of humankind is expanding exponentially, lucky to be born while prejudices are fading, poverty is constantly having to be redefined, and America's light continues to shine as a ray of hope for the less fortunate worldwide. But the reality of the debt I owe comes home to roost every day in the papers when I read the names of those soldiers killed in the war on terror. Every one of them is directly responsible for the freedom I enjoy. They are each one part of a long line of Americans from all walks of life. Over 200 years ago, a group of citizens as different as Jefferson and Adams, or Bush and Clinton, conspired to declare our independence and invent a country. And they did just that, like none other on earth. And that I got so lucky to be so blessed to be born here is a miracle I do not take for granted. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. This is Baxter Black from out there.
And that's a wrap on our Wednesday NCW Live News for a Monday. For more on these stories and other news from around north central Washington, you can always find us on Facebook or Twitter. You can also find more news on our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, please share it with us. You can do it by email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call on our hotline. That's 888-NCWL, 888-6295 for breaking news tips. I'm Steve Hare. Have a great night.
This has been NCW Life News on the NCW Life channel. For more news, log on to ncwlife.com, like us on Facebook, and follow NCW Life channel on Twitter.
Get the fastest internet available in North Central Washington by switching to LocalTel and get speeds up to 1,000 meg. Call 888-8888 today or go online to localtel.net.